keep me in mind.
Okay,
We're now live streaming.
excellent. Close that. Close that. Got it. Things that make me say, Okay. Haven't had supper yet. Okay. Hey, we're just going to wait a few more minutes before we get going. I'm going to try to make my camera a little bit lighter, but I'm not sure how to do that. Well, maybe I do know how. You would think I would know, but I don't. So this will shock absolutely no one, probably, but I kicked Nancy out of here at 4 because I wanted to prepare for this, and I wasn't prepared, right? So it's come together quite well, I have to say.
So what were you and Nancy working on?
Well, I have a stamp share for leaders, silver and above meeting on Sunday. And I said I would participate in a swap, and it's 42 cards.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I kind of wish that we would cap it at a certain amount. Well, how in the heck does this work? How can I not remember? Good gravy. Anyway, there we go.
I wonder why I didn't hear about that.
Well, because you're not. Oh, you are silver.
I am.
Shoot. Well, now I guess I'll. Well, you should have, because I sent Patsy Wagner your email, and Sue. Yeah, I sent him. Okay. We'll just follow up. Because the person inviting people wanted to double check with Stampin' Up! That you were in my downline. I get it. It's all good. But so Becky is going, and Carmen and I, and then anybody else on my team that's silver. I'm not sure if we can still register. I will find out.
And where is it?
Oh, it's up in Medina.
Oh, geez.
That's where they're all stationed, right? So, I mean, that's where their central location is. So, I have to, it'll be great. Sunday to like 5:36. Anyway, all right. So we're going to go ahead and start. I see Julie, and I believe that is Sue, and Anne and Nancy are online with me. And I don't know if anybody's watching on Facebook, but I was kind of hoping Natalie would be able to join, because Natalie said she had trouble yesterday or last week. And I don't know why she had trouble, because she shouldn't have.
Sue Olive's watching with us online.
Okay.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue. Interesting. I wonder where Natalie is. Shoot. She said she knew how to do Zoom, so she was like kind of frustrated, and I don't blame her. But you guys found the link, so I'm not sure. It could be her computer.
Did you
right?
get new glasses?
These are kind of, yes.
Cute.
Thanks. They're just, cheater bifocals for the computer, but they're not quite as dark, so I like them. But I don't like the fact that they have those little bridges on your nose thingy, and I hate that. I hate those. Plus they get caught in your hair. It's a struggle. The struggles are real. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get going. I am Leanne Furness, and I'm in Rochester, Minnesota. I am been doing this for 22 years almost, which seems to me crazy. Tonight, I want to show you a fun fold that I'm actually doing for a swap that I'm going to be doing up in the city. So I'm going to have all kinds of new ideas and all kinds of new samples for things. So we will see what can happen with that little swapperoonie. I'll show you my swap, and you'll think I'm crazy because I have to do 42. Well, 46 is my goal. And Nancy was helping me. So she thinks I'm crazy. Nancy Johnson, right? I am kind of crazy. Okay, so let me go ahead. I am going to show you, my goodness. There she is. I'm going to show you a fun way of making kind of a wow. And that in and of itself is easier to do when your friends and family don't stamp. I mean, they just are impressed with whatever you create, right? So let's just do this and see if this helps. Oh, yeah. What is the dealio? Okay. So it's good enough. Leanne, let go. All right. So you are going to start. I'm going to start and show you the finished. I'm going to show you the finished, and then I'll take you through the steps. So this is the finished shadow box, and we've made them before, and I've had fun fold classes or whatever, but in theory, well, if you did it right, it folds flat and fits in a regular envelope, and then when you open it up, you just have to crease it again. And I just whipped these up at 5:45 today. So there you have it. So it's not quite perfect, but it gives a good, it's like a wow. It's like, wow, that's really cool. It's 3-dimensional and all that good stuff. But how do you get there? Let me show you. I'm going to put him right over there in the dark. Okay, so you take your paper trimmer, and I have my 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you're going to cut this into quarters. So that would be 4 1/4, and then 5 1/2. So that is completely just the quarter of the cardstock. Okay. So then how to get this little bumped out fold, we're going to go ahead and do some scoring. Thank goodness we have a little scoring blade up here, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch from both sides of the cardstock. And so because this is landscape, that kind of helps you tell it what side. You don't want to do this side unless you want it a different look, and then I'll show you that. But right now, we're just going to do it this way. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch and then a whole inch. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other piece. So I'm going to use 2 of these for my card. 1/2 inch and a whole inch. All right, I know I go really fast, and I'm sorry. So 1/2 inch, which is this one, and then a whole inch. All right, so I am done with my trimmer, so I'm gonna get him out of my way. And then so you got your 2 pieces, and you got it. All right, hold on, I can't take this darkness, but maybe it's just because it is. Okay, so you can kind of see the score marks. So what I want to do now is I want to take this over to my machine, my die cut machine, and I want to cut an opening that will let me see the inside, right? So I'm going to take that to the machine and walk over there, and voila, now I'm done cutting. So there's that. And then this is pretty blah, and I would like some texture. So I'm going to take it over to the machine again and emboss it. This is the new gingham embossing folder in the mini catalog, and I was not prepared enough to have that page number or anything, but it'll be like a little scavenger hunt. So when I get back from my embossing machine, here I have the front panel, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do the back panel. Now you got your score marks, and you have to fold them correctly, right? So it's going to be a valley and a mountain, and I would use your bone folder to get a good crease. Now after you've embossed it, it's a little harder to see where you scored. So you might have to do a little bit of exploring a little bit, but okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, whoops, I don't have a piece of paper ready. Shucker. So the inside dimension is 4 inches tall by 3¼ inch, 3¼ inch high. So I'm going to use this paper this time. And so I'm going to go 3¼ inch like that. And then I said it was 4 inches. So I want most of the sky showing. So I'm going to go ahead, pull that out of there. And then the thing that you want to remember, this is kind of a dark piece, but you can use these scraps to stamp your greeting like I did over here, wishing you so much happiness. And you can have some, you know, you get use out of your whole darn tootin' paper. All right, so then I would go and put that on here. But first I'm going to add those birds because they're adorable. And I am using On the Horizon stamp set that coordinates with this paper, which is New Horizons. And of course it has dies, and I'm going to talk about those a little bit too. And so I'm going to grab the birds and I'm going to grab the black ink in hopes that I actually kept it out. Okay, so I'm going to open that up. And now I want to remind everyone that the memento and the stays on ink is supposed to be upside down. So you're going to see mine say this, thank you, this side up, and flip me over please, because the ink needs to be at the top right up here, not at the bottom, right that. Why you don't do that in our regular stamp pads is because it's designed to already be upside down. So you don't need to do this upside down. You want to do this face up. But these, any stamp pads you have that are like this, you want to store them upside down. And same with those little Stampin' Spots. So that's just a reminder, because that seems to be confusing people. And you know what? I go back and forth. I don't know that these birds actually have a top or a bottom, but we're just going to go like that. That makes me angry, a little smudgeroony. And that tells me, you know what, this has happened 2 or 3 times. So I'm going to probably trim that a little bit just so that it's not annoying me, but that's just me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on and say, gosh darn it, this adhesive, and put that there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that piece of paper, that Uber, but it'll be great. So now I want to cut out my mountain, and this die set has this mountain as well as this mountain. And so the mountain is a 2-piece mountain. So this part cuts out the white snow top. And then if you were super organized, you would have your other mountain already cut, sitting right here, waiting for you to use it. It's gonna be here. Hold on, please hold. Oh boy, this shouldn't have moved anything. Okay, come on. This makes me so angry when this happens. All right, well, we're just gonna, no, we're not gonna pretend we need the gray. Hold on. Oh my gosh. You guys saw this mess in my room from me working so hard today and then being last minute Nelly again. Happens, it happens. All right, so we're gonna cut another one. I'm gonna use my mini because that's close. And you know darn well I'm gonna find this like in a half a minute. Oh well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm using Smoky Slate. You know, I don't, if you were gonna buy a machine, I don't know that I would tell you to buy this mini. He's pretty mini and he's pretty cute. However, not every die fits in there. So if you wanted to like see if you like the dies and see if you like the the embossing folders, there's a little icon in all the catalogs that tell you that it works with the mini. So I did take it with me this past weekend on a little mini retreat that I went on with some really fun old time friends, not old friends, but friends that I've had for a long time. It was super fun. And I did use my machine. I didn't have to wait in line for the bigger one. All right, so this is basically how it's going to go. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. Actually, I'm going to do this. You could put this on an adhesive sheet before you cut it out, and that would be helpful. But I'm going to use my little handy dandy little tiny glue bottle that I bought online, and I'm going to put that link on my Facebook page. And it was Lisa Crucio, the #1 demonstrator in the country, raves about them. And she's right. It is so nice. That Tombow glue can be so messy. And then that just makes it, that little trick, that little tool is great. Okay, so I'm off camera trying to fix my Ubers. And so then this again is going to be, I can't really cover the the goober, but I'm going to go ahead and just snip this. And if I had my trimmer out again, I would still use that and cut it to 4 or 3 1/4. But I'm just going to go ahead and add this. And that is how you kind of make your panel. Okay. So then you take your second half or the front, and you're going to use tear and stick tape. So this tape just comes in a big roll, and it means its name tells you how to cut it, right? It's tear. So then I'm going to go ahead and it's double-sided. So what you do is you take a pick tool and you pull this up. And then you pull this one up. And when your hands aren't exhausted from doing so much crafting after carpal tunnel surgery, it's good. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of flatten this out again, because I want it to lay flat when it goes in the envelope. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up on the edge. So in theory, this lines up on the edge. And you could use Tombow glue for this too. It would be a little bit more forgiving. But I'm going to go ahead and try to line this up. And then I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to do the same thing and line it up. And then kind of reinforce those folds. So then if I had an envelope right here, which of course, why would I? It would go right in there. So you can mail this kind of a card, or you can hand deliver it, right? So then I just added, to finish this off, I just added the wishing you so much happiness. You know, I could hide the birds, but so that's the standard way of making a shadow box. And I did go through that fast, but I'll try to type up the dimensions. It's just, again, a 1/4 sheet of 2 1/4 sheets of your basic size cardstock. All right, so then what do you do with that circle, right? So let's think about that. You don't want to waste anything. So I did kind of another card. Again, this is the New Horizon paper. This is the smoky slate textured ribbon in the annual catalog. This is my circle from here. And remember, I cut it out before I textured. And the reason you would do that is because if you texture this and then cut it out, the texture is going to get flattened. So you want to cut first and then texture. And then this guy is another circle. And then I just layered my mountain on there, and then I cut him out like that to create this. And again, I use some of the scraps for the wishing you so much happiness. So I was pretty pleased with my last minute Nelly. That turned out really well. And then I decided, all right, let's try something else. And the reason I happen to have this ready because of my swap, but I'm not sure if I should show you. I will, but so this card was a little bit more intense. It focused on the New Horizon, on the Horizon bundle. And so this was just one of the scallop and contour framelits. And I did the same whole thing to put it together. On the white cardstock, I stamped the grassy stuff, Old Olive, and I stamped off to give it some dimension. This watery looking thing is this die out of, again, the New Horizon paper. And then I stamped my birds. And then I don't know if you can see that, but down here, I cut out from the designer series paper this a couple times. And then I cut out the last one and I put that on the front. And then this is also a die cut from this stamps bundle. And I stamped the wooden grainy thing on there, so kind of give it some dimension. And then I kicked it up a notch with my little pebbles. I'm not sure what kind of word I want to say. That kind of looks like a relax kind of day, but so that's, again, just 2 quarter sheets of cardstock that I scored, cut, and layered. Then I thought, well, what about if I wanted a vertical instead of the landscape? Well, that kind of came out well and came out good. So again, this is another quarter sheet, 2 quarter sheets of the cardstock, and I scored it at a half and a one, and not well. I used the one of the stitched rectangle square to cut out that window. I used the same, New Horizon paper way in the back, New Horizon paper for my greeting. And I cut out from the New Horizon paper these little trees and layered them and added some dimension to it. So I kind of like that. I mean, again, it should fit right in the regular envelope. And then, so it kind of, once you start making these, I would start simple with, this, because this is enough to worry about. And then I would, venture out. Now, here comes the best one. Okay, this is a little over the top. I know, shocker. So look at this guy. I love it. So I've got the chicken with the birthday. I've got You're Still a Spring Chicken kind of in the middle. I got my birthday guy. Let's celebrate you. And this is bigger. And how I got the size is I wanted to use this size envelope. So I just measured and made sure my cardstock was cut to fit in that envelope. And then I just scored a half and a half. So really, once you get the method, you kind of got a lot of fun options to go around. I used the layering diorama dies for the squiggly stuff. And then of course I used Hey Birthday Chicken, the dies that come with that. So that's in a nutshell how you can kind of get a wow. Let me put these all back. A wow in your card stuff, in your card making. So I mean, really, I just thought this turned out so good. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the gray diorama thing, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. Anyway, that's all I was going to show you. Let me go back and go like this. Are there any questions from the gallery?
Not on this end.
Okay. Well, I hope I didn't go too fast. I'm sure I did. Again, I will go ahead and put the scoring and the dimensions on my Facebook page tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to do it tonight because I haven't even had supper. But I think it was really fun. Now, next week, if you get my emails, the tutorial for this month was with the slimline cards. So I've been kind of exploring what other demonstrators are doing with those dies, and I found some really cool ideas. So that is what we're going to talk about next week. And you don't have to use them just for slimlines. So don't miss it. It'll be here 6:30 on Tuesday. And if you miss any, I try to remember, and you might have to remind me to upload it to YouTube, my YouTube channel, because not everyone has Facebook. All right. So thanks for joining. Stay warm. Apparently it's going to get cold again. Don't like it. Right. All right. So we will talk to you all in a few days, I'm sure.
Thanks,
Bye.
Diane.
Yep. Thanks.
Bye.